All right, to kick things off, we were personally at Game 1 in St. Louis. Our school break lined up perfectly, and Miles Michaelis just absolutely dealed, but unfortunately, nobody with a bat in their hand with a Cardinals uniform decided to show up to the stadium. So a great outing was just shot to hell because nobody could hit the damn ball. And Anibal Sanchez, I mean, this guy is a good pitcher, but by no means he should be no-hitting you through 8 innings. And then Jose Martinez luckily broke up history.
Yeah, thank God. I was thinking, like, okay, well, if we aren't going to win, at least we'll see history. But, I mean, that was our first October baseball game in 4 years, and it was probably the most disappointing game I've ever been to.
Yeah, the city was buzzing. Busch Stadium, like, we got down there early, and it was just so cool to be, like, down by the dugout and, like, seeing Flaherty kind of looking around. He looked like he was confident as hell, and he was ready to win a series and go to his first World Series, but too bad his teammates didn't really feel that way. But yeah, that game was just kind of sucked the life out of us and really set the tone for the series. That
it did, yeah.
Like before going into Game 1, I was gonna say Anibal Sanchez is the guy that we can absolutely knock around and get a 1-game lead. But when he one hits you and then you lose that first game, going into the Game 2, I mean, same old story. We go down 2-0, and then I think you can kind of write the series off from there.
Yeah, I mean, with Steven Strasburg and Max Scherzer back-to-back, we needed to win that Game 1. And, I mean, that last Game 2, like, we had a shot. We almost came back.
Yeah.
If, a bounce goes another way, or if Matt Wieters can run.
If Matt Wieters can run, if Jose Martinez decides to catch a ball, I don't really know what we're going to do with him because he's a great bat. I mean, love hitting him.
He's on a very team-friendly deal, so I think with Ozuna probably 95% gone, I think we'll probably
You think Ozuna's 95% gone?
I would say so. I would say after that post, and we put it on our social media, Ozuna's farewell post.
Yeah.
It wasn't like farewell post.
He said, no, he like came out and said, I would love to come back to St. Louis. I've enjoyed my time here, but at the same time, it did feel like, thank you guys for having me.
What it feels like more for me is that one of my hats just fell down. What it feels like more for me, though, is that Ozuna, he wanted to come back here. He was open to coming back here.
Mm-hmm.
But he also wants to get paid. And I think John Mosey, straight up told him, we have a plethora of outfield depth and talent where it's like...
Especially our young studs coming up. Nolan Gorman, I know he's like a third baseman. He's our number 1 prospect, but...
Of course, I mean, don't forget about Tyler O'Neill, who really has not fulfilled his potential.
No.
And maybe, when we traded Marco Gonzalez for him, he was like the number 1 prospect for the Mariners at the time. And he really, I don't know if it's for a lack of playing time or it's not the right situation, but I don't think he's ready to be in.
I just don't see really a very high ceiling with Tyler O'Neill. Like, he's shown power and like he can play great, but he is just so inconsistent. And then Harrison Bader, I love the guy to death. His glove is unmatched, and I think he will win some Gold Gloves. But man, I mean, that bat. If you're around the Mendoza line in today's day and age, it's hard to get playing time. And then
he made some stupid base running mistakes too, and that were costly. But I mean, think about great defense though. Like, he should be a Gold Glove guy coming up here. But it didn't go our way. But we're gonna recap this season.
Yeah.
So starting off-season acquisitions. Obviously, we get Andrew Miller, which
I was actually I was up and down with him all season, but at the end of the day, I'm looking at Andrew Miller's regular season and postseason performance, and I'm saying I like this guy. I think we should stick with him for a long time. Yeah. He's a legit lefty that can come.
Yeah, I mean, I think his postseason performance. I have to look up the stats, but I don't even know if he gave up any runs.
No, he didn't really strike me as a guy that was. He's been in these situations before. He pitched in Game 7 of the 16 World Series, so right. He's had experience, and I think he just really played to his potential.
So Miller's final slash line 5-6, 4.45 ERA, which not really what we're trying to see. But I mean, he ate up 54 innings pitched, gave up 11 bombs, which.
Yeah, I mean...
Might have been the highest out of our relievers.
Well, it was because right when he got with us, he was leaving so much stuff over the just top half of the plate or top half of the zone, rather, and I just... His velocity has been so up and down, then that wipeout slider that he's so known for. it really took time for him to, I think, come to what he once was with the Indians. So it took him a long time to come around to where I thought he was reliable out of the pen.
Yeah, but I mean, I still think this is a guy that we can rely on. I mean, he's really our best left-handed option going forward.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Tyler Webb. I think we should stick with him for a long time.
Yeah, Tyler Webb, honestly, like he was, we set him down in the minors. I thought he was donezo.
Mm-hmm.
But he rebounded nicely, and he proved to be a reliable.
Yeah, I mean, every time Schilt went to him, like he's just so low key. He doesn't have triple digits or like the dirtiest stuff, but what he does have is just he has get out pitches. He just knows how to get guys out, and obviously when you got Yachty calling the game, it's pretty much you just nod your head and try to execute as best you can. So you mentioned Andrew Miller, the off-season acquisition, and then the obviously biggest one in recent Cardinal history. I don't know who would top Paul Goldschmidt other than Ozuna maybe, but
I still think Ozuna. Like,
he's not even the same tier.
Ozuna didn't really choose to come here. Goldschmidt signed the extension, right after he got him. So.
Yeah, Paul Goldschmidt, the average was very, very subpar from what he expected from himself and what we expected. But when you look at his final stat line, his power was there. It finally came around, and I'm completely happy with Paul Goldschmidt's year. And in this series against the Braves, him and Ozuna, surprisingly, the two guys we thought were going to be the biggest question marks actually carried us through 5 games.
Yeah. So Paul Goldschmidt finished our team 5th in WAR with 2.8. This is a guy that we traded for to be a 330, 100 RBIs.
Yeah.
And he didn't really quite get there, but I think his second half turnaround was promising to see, but I think...
Yeah, 260, you got to bump that up, and I guarantee in 2020 he will get that up, and his on-base was 346. I know he's normally hovering around 380 to 400, so God tier levels, and so that is the only thing I'd knock him for. Just the singles and doubles weren't there, but the home runs.
He did hit 34 bombs, only 97 ribbies, which I think that led our team.
Mm-hmm.
But
all right. So you want to rank them out of a letter category or 0 to 10?
What do you want to do for every single player?
Yeah, I mean Paul Goldschmidt. I'm a big fan of the 0 to 10.
Let's do.
Oh, okay. You want to do letters?
I was going to say letter. I don't know.
Well, all right. Well, if I had to give Paul Goldschmidt a letter and a grade, I'd say B-, so 6.8. Just, valuable player to our team, but at the same time wasn't going to blow anybody's socks off.
You have to factor in expectations too. I would give Paul Goldschmidt, if you take postseason and regular, I'll give him a B, but I would like to see a lot more from Paul Goldschmidt.
Mm-hmm. And then going around to second baseman, Colton Wong, his glove, if he doesn't win the Gold Glove, I think there's just something against this guy, maybe just being he just can't get any votes, but Colton Wong should be a shoe-in for the Gold Glove this year. And then batting-wise, he was very, very shaky, but he did prove that he can be our go-to everyday second baseman for a few years.
Yeah, and, I think there are a lot of doubters out there about Colton Wong,
mm-hmm.
Whether the maturity was there, obviously he's had some kind of questionable, obviously base runner mistakes in the playoffs.
Yeah, remember when he first came up? Was that 2000?
That was against the Dodgers.
Right? Yeah, and then he got picked off, and then that's how our season ended.
That's how it ended.
And it's who is this idiot that just got picked off?
So he was our number one position player in WAR with 4.7. I think defensively he was our best defender on the team, and that's saying a lot considering how good our team was defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Colton Wong though.
Batted 285. Yeah, that shocks me.
But it's let me see if I can find splits on this.
Dude,
but I'm pretty sure in the second half of the season he was top 5 in the league in average or something before he got hurt.
Yeah, and his just legs. If you look at his stolen base to caught stealing ratio, 24 stolen bases to 4 caught stealing. That's ridiculous. That's a 6-to-1 ratio, and in today's day and age where nobody really runs anymore, Mike Schilt was an enforcer to run more. Wow, this guy is proved to be valuable just every time he finds his way on. He had a 361 on base, so that's around average for
24 bags though. That added a much needed. I think before Schilt took over, we were 30th,
We
29th
did not
in
run.
base running.
No.
That was just not part of Mike Matheny's deal.
Mm-hmm.
And this, all of a sudden, I think we were like second or third on the
Oh yeah.
base
We
runs.
were so high up, and this was the first time I think in like a decade that we were in the top 10 for stolen bases. Back when La Russa was still, La Russa loved small ball. He loved bunting, and he loved taking the base when he could. So
yeah, I mean, if I were to give him a grade, I would honestly give Colton Wong an A.
okay.
A minus.
Yeah, I was gonna go B plus just because. I mean, he was kind of like in and out. He played 148 games, which is insane. So, I mean, wow, he was there every day. So
How about Paul Goldschmidt playing 161 games?
wow, yeah.
That one game, I think they just gave him the day off.
No, he had probably like 6 or 7 like off days, but then it's like, well, we kind of need a pinch hit, and then who else would you go to besides Paul Goldschmidt?
It's an easy answer. So Colton Wong.
I'd actually bump him up to an A minus too, just because of the longevity, and he was there every single day.
So we'll go across the diamond to shortstop. Paul DeYoung, our lone all-star, but if we were to re-rank our all-star,
He wouldn't even
not
be in
even
the
be top
talks.
5.
No, because
This guy fell off a cliff.
especially in the series against the Nationals, he looked like he was just out in front of everything. He was whiffing at every off-speed pitch and getting blown by every fastball, and he just looked so lost at the plate. And I know he had some great power. He hit 30 dingers, 78 RBIs, but only batted .233. So kind of a gold ball hitter. It's pretty much the majority of his at bats are home runs, walks, or strikeouts, and he did manage the second most strikeouts on our team with 149. So just not putting the ball in play too much. And then, yeah, he looked all right against the Braves. I do remember like a few RBIs and just line drives to right center. But in that Nat series, it was like, how is this guy in the major leagues? Like if I wasn't like a fan of the Cardinals and I just came in and watched the game, I'm like, how is this guy their starting shortstop?
You know what's really funny? When you said he batted .233, I was looking at the stats. I was like, oh, that's the playoffs. He batted .233 in the regular season and the playoffs.
Okay, so
actually really.
I mean, he's consistent, but you don't want
to. He's consistent, but not good.
No, you don't want to be consistent at .233. So honestly, I'd give him a C minus. I think he's my least favorite guy going forward, and I know his defense, him and Colton have great chemistry, but
yeah.
That bat just really needs to show up.
He is only 25, so I expect him to grow, but I mean, he hit 30 bombs, 78 RBIs, but I think I'd rather have a guy hit 280 and with 15. Like I do
that trade.
I would have much rather seen Colton Wong type production than
Yeah, so wow. So Colton Wong is probably my favorite, or just like most valuable player right now. And then Paul DeYoung's at the last.
So we'll see how I think I might have a different MVP.
Okay. But, going to third base, I guess we're gonna have to mention 2 guys: Matt Carpenter and Tommy Edman. And Matt Carpenter, he is just a strikeout machine, and his arm is just. He takes so long. Every time he fields a normal ground ball, it looks like his shoulder is just deadlocked with his elbow, and they move in unison. So that's not, you don't want to have a long motion at third base because that is the longest throw. And
Matt Carpenter playoff stats. Guess how many hits he had in 13 plate appearances?
13 plate appearances. I'm gonna go with 3, 4.
1 hit.
1 hit.
One hit and 13 at bats for a .077 ERA. Or average. We gave him the spot in Game 4 to prove himself. Obviously he's been one of our best, really our only playoff contributor.
Yeah.
Besides Yachty.
His one redeeming factor is his eye at the plate. I remember when we were driving home from Game 5 of the NLDS. Mike Shannon was praising his eye and how he was taking these close pitches, and that he knows how to walk. I'll give him that much, but. You got to string singles, and if every team in the MLB can shift you so exaggerated or so just all over the top, nobody's even on the left side, and he can't put a bunt down or go the other way, you're really limiting your potential and the numbers you can put up.
Yeah, so I mean, this guy's a defensive liability too. I mean, when we have Tommy Edman at third, I don't know what we're gonna do this offseason. But
Tommy Edman can play ball. I know that for sure.
Outfield, he can play third. He can do whatever we need him to do. I'm going to give Matt Carpenter a C minus.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go D plus, and
Yeah, I mean, what's so frustrating about that is that Mosaic and Gersh give him an extension.
he's getting paid
Preemptive
so
extension,
much.
getting paid for like what 1 or 2 good months last year with the salsa.
Yeah, oh yeah. He did have that MVP caliber, and then I think that's why he's still getting these like just opportunities. But Tommy Edmonds showed up and said, "Hey, I'm here to take your job, and I will."
On the for our hitters, Tommy Edman is my MVP. This guy came out of nowhere. Like I would say I know our prospects pretty well, but this guy really like.
All right, so I'm looking at the stats right now, and to select like all the players, there's all players and their like averages. So you have like pitchers like John Brebbia, only 1 at bat, 1 hit, so he's batting 1,000. But then you have to go to qualifiers, but to look at guys that had at least 3.1 at bats per game. But if you just stick on all players, Tommy Edman is 4th. He batted 304, 350 on base percentage, and 4th of our whole team in average. So yeah, this kid's bat just blew me away. I mean, he's 5'9". He doesn't look like he should be smoking every single pitch he sees, but he does. And when you talk about the glove playing third and right field, there's nowhere I don't think this man can play. Maybe center field is the one place I wouldn't put him. But yeah, this kid can play just about anywhere in the field, and that bat is going to keep him around in the league for a long, long time to come.
Yeah, so 304 led our team in batting average. 11 bombs, 36 ribbies, but I mean, obviously he was kind of like a mid-season call-up, so I really expect him to be
huge things.
Yeah, huge things. Only 24, but
and just like we were praising Wong for his stolen base to caught stealing ratio, he had 15 bags and only got caught once.
Wow.
And I remember the caught stealing, and it was a review. Schilt challenged it, and it could have gone either way, and then he got called out for that. So
that was insane, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, this guy, I mean, he played 92 games, and in those 92 games, he clearly showed that he's probably our most reliable player.
Yeah, so I'm gonna flat out just give him an A+ because this dude he's pretty much we compared him to Jordan Bennington, like these young kids that just came out of nowhere, got a call up mid-season, then they just showed up and said, "Hey, I'm in the bigs" or "I'm in the NHL," and they just went, and didn't slow down from raking in the AAA or the KHL.
Yeah, I would give him an A. One thing, I'd like to see him hit for a little more power, but I think that'll come with time. But Tommy Edman, Tommy triples.
Tommy, yeah, seriously, he knows how to.
I think the biggest thing for me is his defense. I mean, he showcased it against Washington and Atlanta how he can just make crazy plays. And in that game 4 when he makes that sick diving catch, and Colton Wong drops it, or was that? Yeah, that was Colton Wong.
Mm-hmm.
But I really nothing but good things to say about him.
Seriously. So yeah, out of the infield, so I got DeYoung as my least favorite, and then I got Edmund as my favorite, and then going to left.
We'll just do let's do just Fowler, Bader,
Ozuna. And kind of talk about Martinez, but let's start in left field with Marcell Ozuna. So his contract is up. He kind of mentioned he wants to come back in the Instagram post, but at the same time, if we want him back, we would have to offer him a 1-year deal for $17.8 million, and I just don't know if we really want to spend that money on a left fielder that can't throw worth crap.
Yeah, I don't... Like, I'm writing a blog about him, too, that'll be out in the next couple of days, but his right shoulder is just a complete liability. And I still don't think he's fully healthy from that. I mean, when I look at Marcell Ozuna, I'm just thinking, like, his expectations coming were so high. He was MVP caliber player.
Yeah.
And he just fell off a cliff. He did rebound pretty nicely at some points this year, but at the same time, I think this is the guy that we can move on from.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if we move on from him. And like I said, if we do offer him that deal for 1 year, an extension rather, if he declines that, any team that would pick him up has to give up a draft pick. This rule was put into place like 3 or 4 years ago. So if we do give him an offer, there's going to have to be like some terms that say, well, Marcell, if you decline, your value going out in the market is going to be really dropping, and people are not going to be interested in you. So I just don't really see us making an offer and
me neither.
Looking for a big bat elsewhere.
So I'm going to give Ozuna C+, he showed some flashes of brilliance, but at the same time, I think it's just wasn't the best.
Yeah, I'll give him a C just because the power was there and the average was kind of like Goldschmidt-esque, but just every time there's a play at the plate, it's like, well, he's scoring because Marcelo Zuna, he has just a bunch of nuts and bolts in his right shoulder, and there's a lot of surgery that went on there, and I just don't ever see him getting that arm back.
All right, so Harrison Bader. Defensively, we'll start with the good.
Yeah. So 5-star caliber. I wouldn't.
I would say he led the league in 5-star catches.
Yeah, he did. And then there's probably like 2 or 3 other center fielders I'd put in the conversation with him.
Defensively.
Yeah, like
I'd put Kevin Kiermaier,
Keon Broxton, just because he can run down every single ball.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, other than that, there's like maybe a few other guys you can talk about, but Harrison Bader is the most reliable center fielder in the MLB. And then
that's a hot take.
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah. So I mean, with Bader, 205.
Yeah. So the bat is.
Wow.
I don't know if it's ever going to be there. That's the issue. I don't know if you can have a starting center fielder bat 8th and then always get out in front of your pitcher when the 8th place hitter is one of the most important in the lineup.
I mean, this guy played more games than Yachty. This guy played as many games as
Yachty
Ozuna
did get hurt.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, he played as many games as Carpenter, Ozuna. And if you're going to be having that shitty of an average, he really frustrates me sometimes. But I'm going to give him, he did have 11 stolen bases, which honestly should be more. Ozuna had more stolen bases than him, bro.
Dude, when a guy named the Big Bear, outruns you and you're like the speed demon from New York, then yeah. So I'm gonna give him a fat D+ because that bat I just don't know if it's ever gonna be MLB ready. And
I'm gonna give him a C-. Okay, let's move on to right field, or I guess we can do Dex.
Dexter Fowler was 150 games, so that's ridiculous.
238, 19 bombs. 67 RBIs.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is 36, and I think age just might be catching up to him. His swing he's always had kind of just an off-the-wall swing, but it does look like it's getting very loopy, and he's trying to cheat on balls, and I just don't really see. We do have him locked up for, I think, 2 or 3 more years, so he's going to be on the team, but I just don't know if he's going to be very valuable moving forward.
So I'll give Dex C.
Yeah.
C. I'll give him a C.
I'm gonna give a B- just because he builds attitude in the clubhouse. I guess I'm giving him a soft B-. And then you throw in Jose Martinez to the question. His bat is lethal. He is one of the best pinch hitters in baseball. But just like the opposite of Harrison Bader, his counterpart, that glove just sucks. He has 0 legs. He has 0 speed.
0 range whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think I'm excited to see like him back because I think he's a great presence.
Yeah, he's fun as hell to watch, like the Cafecito, the Bench Mafia, but that glove is... We just have a lot of holes, I'd say, like looking around our whole starting 9. And then you go to Yachty, we didn't really mention him, but you know he's going to be just a beast, and you don't really need to point out any issues with him because he knows how to get base hits and he knows how to call games better than anybody.
I mean, Yachty, no matter like what the stats say, he is probably our most valuable player in terms of just what he brings to our pitching staff, which had a hell of a rebound season.
Yeah.
I'm going to give Yachty or Molina. I mean, he hit 270. He led our team. I want to say it was hits. No, never mind.
For hits?
No, he didn't. Paul Goldschmidt did. But I would give Yachty. I would give him a B+.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him an A just because I mean this guy fights through everything and he has been.
At age 36, he's still like our clutch guy. He's still.
Yeah, he won Game 4 for us and forced a Game 5. So
yeah,
that clutch gene there is just all. I mean. He's been born with it, and ever since he came into the Cardinals, it's been with him. So
yeah, Jose, I'm gonna give a B.
Yeah. I mean, B. I'll give him a B- just because I hate his glove and his range is horrible, but great attitude and insane pinch hitter overall.
Yeah. So to move on to our pitching staff, I don't really want to cover all these guys, but we'll start off with number 1, the MVP of the team, our most valuable player, Jack Flaherty.
Yeah, he will win the Cy Young in 2020 without a doubt. There is going to be some stiff competition with Scherzer, Strasburg, and then all the guns on the Mets, but I don't think anybody's really going to shut this guy down.
Jack led our team with a WAR of 6. Unreal.
Yeah.
This guy in the second half of the season was the best pitcher in the majors. This is a guy that is only 23 and that I think is only going to go up. He literally had like a sub 1.5 ERA going from the All-Star break until the postseason.
Yeah, I believe he did. He had the 3rd lowest ERA out of any second half in MLB history. So if this guy's not wearing a Cardinals uniform for the rest of his career, we're doing something like horribly wrong, because I haven't seen this talent in a long time, or like maybe going back to Chris Carpenter.
So yeah, he was clearly our best starter. 11-8. He had some really, really bad run support, but 2.75 ERA with leading our team. Almost 200 innings pitched. So he was our workhorse, and I don't think he's had Tommy John yet. So hopefully,
we're gonna get Jordan Hicks back from that. I think that was inevitable when you throw that hard. But
Flaherty, this guy, however you chalk it up, his WHIP was sub 1. His strikeouts per 9 was 10.6, which is unreal.
Yeah.
231 strikeouts. This guy was our best pitcher by far. So I'm going to give him an A+.
Yeah, I would too.
So moving on to Miles Mikolas. Actually, we'll go on to Waino, who I think was our second best starter.
I think we have to bring him back for another year. He just showed
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I really hope we bring Waino back. I think the team will want to bring Waino back after... heading into this year, I was kind of on the...
No, I was surprised, and I was like, how is this old man still going to be playing baseball, and how is he going to be valuable to us moving forward? But
37, he is still...
He shocked me. Yeah, this year was incredible for him, especially in the playoffs.
Exactly. We wasted 2 just hell of a starts from Wainwright with our terrible run support.
Yeah, so I'm going to give Waino a B+, and...
Yeah, I'm going to give him a B+ as well.
And I'm going to say bring his ass back for another year, because he's still got a lot of juice left in that arm.
I think it's more of whether he wants to come back, but I think he had a lot of fun this year.
Yeah.
I think he'll announce before the season, he won't do like a victory tour, but he'll say like, this will be my last, I'm going out on my own terms.
Okay.
But going on to Miles Mikolas... He had a great year last year after coming in from Japan. I had really high expectations for him. We signed him to an extension, and he had a really subpar year.
It's a subpar in the playoffs, just game 1 against the Nats. That was really kind of the turnaround. I got high on him again. Like, I got a lot of high expectations for him going into 2020, but I would give him flat C, just one of the most average players on our team for the 2019 season.
I'll give him a C-. Moving on to Dakota Hudson. I was really pleasantly surprised with Dakota Hudson. Mm-hmm. Led our team in wins with 16 wins.
So he definitely had the most run support by far out of any starter.
He definitely got lucky, but he had a 3.35 ERA, which was second for our starters. 136 strikeouts. This guy, I think, is just scratching the surface. This was really his first full year up here. I'm going to give him an A-.
Okay. I'm going to give him a B- because...
Oh, okay.
He did have some great stretches, but I mentioned his run support, and I think he's going to have to personally prove it to me in 2020 that he is the number 2 starter behind Jack Flaherty. And then moving on to number 5, I think Michael Wacha is...
F.
I was going to say F too, because the opponent's batted 290 off of him. That is unreal for a hitter to bat 290. But collectively, team after team batting 290 against you, that's just unheard of for a starting pitcher.
This is a guy that showed flashes of brilliance. He almost had that perfect game.
Yeah.
And I think this guy's just donezo.
Yeah, his arm is
I'd be looking
long
to trade
gone.
him this offseason. It just isn't working anymore. Moving on to, we'll do our top 5 closers. Or top 5 relievers, rather.
Yeah.
We'll start with our closer, Carlos Martinez, who came out before the season. He had some injury issues, but he flat out said, I think I'm going to get paid more as a reliever, so I'm refusing to start.
Yeah, that is not really
that ticked me off. I think there are definitely some attitude issues with Carlos Martinez. he's just an emotional guy that.
I mean, there's a lot of benefits to that, but yeah, like against the Braves and him and Ronald Acuna going at it, like he gives up a bomb and he's like chirping him. Like, I mean, this guy he's
not the Cardinal way.
No, not at all. He's kind of like our Yasiel Puig. He's our wild horse. You never know what the hell he's going to do next.
I mean, we like the emotion, but at the same time...
He's got to rear it back, especially in the wrong and right situations.
So, I mean, but this guy, he had how many saves? 24 saves, which I think from the time he was closer until the end of the season, I want to say he was like 1 or 2 in the NL in saves. I'll give him a B.
Okay, I'm going to give him a C+, just because the attitude issues, and then once Jordan Hicks gets back, this kid is going to be our closer for the whole year.
Yeah,
and
unfortunately, he got hurt, but I don't think he'll be back ready by May. I think it'll be more like June or July.
Oh, yeah, it was going to be like a year.
Yeah, it takes over a year, so hopefully.
Don't want to rush him, but he has been in the clubhouse, like mingling with the guys and building chemistry, so I love to see that. And but he's going to be our go-to guy.
So we'll move on to Giovanni Gallegos, who was the biggest surprise for me in terms of the bullpen. I'm giving this guy an A, solid A. He was honestly our most reliable.
Yeah, I'd give him an A too, just because you could go to him for 2 or 3 innings at a time, and he wouldn't fuck around. He would just paint corner after corner and just do his job. And this guy is probably one of the most underrated guys out of any bullpen, I think, because he didn't get national attention whatsoever by any MLB accounts or on the TV, really. And Giovanni Gallegos was one of the biggest steals I think the Cardinals have had in a long time.
It'd be nice to have Luke Voigt, don't get me wrong, but Gallegos, 2.31 ERA. This guy was just a reliable 8th-inning guy. 93 strikeouts. He has some nasty stuff. Yeah,
he can put any player in the MLB away. Like, he made Bryce Harper look silly a few times, and I'm like, wait a minute, Giovanni Gallegos? Where did we get this guy from? And I look up the Yankees deal and whatnot. And I'm like, well, I guess we came out of that pretty well.
So we brought up Andrew Miller earlier. We already said a good amount about him. I'm gonna give him, when you factor in postseason too, I'm gonna give him a C.
Okay, I was gonna go pretty high on him. I'm gonna give him a B+, because out of any pitcher, he had the most games at 73, and so a lot of those were just one. Like a lefty specialist coming in and just for one batter. But then again, he had stints of brilliance. Batters batted .225 against him, so he really impressed me, and I'm glad we got him.
He was 5-6 though, 4.45 ERA, 6 saves, but
I think he's our go-to lefty, and we haven't had that in a long time.
Yeah. I think he's reliable, but I think there's still some room to grow there. I guess we already talked about Tyler Webb. I'll give him a B+, honestly.
Yeah, I'll give him a flat.
Actually, no, that's way too high. He had a terrible first half, so I'm gonna give him a B-. All
right, I was gonna give him a B- too, just because he did really surprise me going down the stretch in September. But then you mentioned his first half, so if he's more consistent, then he'll bump my grade up personally, and he'll get a lot more innings. But yeah, I think he's a great lefty right behind Miller to have in the bullpen.
And then we'll do John Brebbia too.
I think I'm going to give Brebbia an A. He is one of the most underrated guys on our team. He just goes out there and just paints fastball after fastball and gets everybody out. And batters batted .216 against him in 72 innings pitched, 66 games. So John Brebbia I think he's going to be with us for a while, and I love him out of the bullpen.
Yeah, he did give up a few runs against the Braves, or against the Nationals rather. But he just an average bullpen guy.
Okay.
Me, honestly, I would give him a C+.
All right, I'm pretty high on him. I can't wait to see him in 2020, and then kind of his counterpart, John Gant. They're very similar, just power right-handers. And John Gant, I thought he had a pretty great year. He's just every time we went to him, I'm going to give him a B+ just because.
Without looking, what do you think his record was?
Without looking, most relievers are negative, so I'm going to go 2-4.
11-1.
Wow, oh yeah.
Well, John Gant was 11-1. He had as many wins as Jack Flaherty.
Yeah. So
that is insane. This guy led our team in or he's up there for holds. But I mean, he's a solid guy. I'm a huge fan of John Gant.
Yeah, just throws gas, and he, like I said, I think him and Brebbia are very similar, just power right-handers, and they're not gonna throw anything dirty too much. And then
I'm gonna give him a B+.
Okay.
The last guy we'll cover is Ryan Helsley. This is a guy that flew under the radar for much of the year. He didn't pitch. He only pitched in 24 games, but I liked a lot of what I saw with him. He was our second best reliever with 2.95 ERA. I mean, I'm impressed by what he's only 24, so I think he's got only room to improve.
Well, when you looking at a TV, what impresses me with Ryan Helsley is the number on the top on the bottom right screen when the pitch goes over the plate. Sometimes he hits triple digits, but when you look left, it's like, wait a minute, where the hell is this ball going? So the control, like for anybody that throws over 100, is normally an issue, but I think his control was particularly fearsome to me, just because, I mean, he was throwing balls to the backstop like multiple times in a row. So I'm going to give him a C- just because he throws hard, but at the same time, moving forward, he has to be more consistent to me.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a C+. All right, well, I think that pretty much gets us for the grades.
Yeah, so, I mean, who would you give? All right, let's go, like, hitters, starters, and then bullpen. Pick your best and worst guy. Or worst player. Like, the
best hitter, wow.
Yeah.
That's tough. I'm going to go Tommy Edman.
Okay, I'm going to go Paul Goldschmidt just because the power. We haven't had that in a long time. So I like Paul Goldschmidt out of anybody in our starting lineup.
Worst hitter, without a doubt, it's Jed Jerko.
Oh, yeah. Thank God he's with the Dodgers and just holding them down. But worst hitter, I'd say Harrison Bader, just because we had to send him down and he did figure some things out. But
Jed Jerko was kind of a cop-out, so I'll do Harrison Bader as well. Pitcher, I mean...
Yeah, it's Jack Flaherty, obviously. And then going into the bullpen, honestly, Gallegos is up there for me, but I'm going to go Andrew Miller just because I think having a dynamic lefty out of the bullpen is essential for any team, and he is the first guy that we've had in a long time that you're like, yep, that's our number one lefty.
Yeah, I'm going to go Gallegos number one. Our worst starter, Michael Wacha.
Yeah, worst bullpen arm. That's kind of hard.
I'm
Did anybody really piss you off that much? I'm gonna go Carlos Martinez just because.
I wouldn't say he's our worst, but he's very frustrating.
Yeah, he is extremely frustrating. Just because of my emotional roller coaster I've had with him, Carlos Martinez is my least favorite out of the bullpen.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Dominic Leone. He did pitch in 40 appearances, 5.53 ERA. Nothing special, 1-0, but
I just kind of want to emphasize before 2019 started, if you looked at the majority of experts' polls, Cardinals were almost always 2 or 3. I don't know if I saw more than a few guys pick the Cardinals to win the NL Central. So, getting to the playoffs, that was our goal at the beginning of the season, and we accomplished that.
We achieved it. Yeah.
Getting past any round, especially the powerhouse Braves, that is just exceeding our expectations. So I'm extremely happy we got to watch an intense 5-game series, and then we watched one great 5-game series and then a 4-game series. I don't even think we were in the same ballpark with this team. It looked like it was an MLB team playing. Have you ever seen the times? Sometimes the Red Sox play Boston College just for fun. Yeah, it kind of looked like that.
It looked literally our AAA versus MLB. I mean, this season was, I would without a doubt say it was a success because our one goal after missing out 4 years in a row was to get back to the playoffs, and that's exactly what we did. We didn't look like necessarily the best team on paper going in, but
listening to a lot of fans, just when we get to the playoffs, it's like from an outsider non-Cardinal fan perspective, they look on our team, they're like, how are they good? They don't have superstars like everybody else, and they just win. And then our postseason magic is definitely there. Once we get in, you never know what can happen.
I mean, just the one caveat is that we got our asses collapsed against the Washington Nationals.
Yeah, the Nationals are a great team, but they were the wild card team, and
they were the wild card team for a reason. I mean, Maybe they're just having like a 2011 year that we had, but
Yeah, props to them. Like if you guys didn't notice, I'm wearing an Expos hat, so I am rooting for the Washington Nationals just because I hate the Astros and I don't want to see them start a baseball dynasty, which is in baseball winning not consecutive years, but in a short stretch of years is extremely hard. So I would love to see the Nationals win their first World Series.
Yeah,
and
I'd love to see it. An attitude, baby.
Yeah, an attitude, baby. And then it would look kind of better for us, like saying, hey, we got beat by the best team in baseball.
Yeah, that would obviously look better for us.
But if you told me at the beginning of the season the Cardinals are going to be in the top 4 of baseball, I'd say, okay, I'm taking this season no matter what happens. And unfortunately, we had a pretty horrible ending. But yeah, 2019 far just blew away expectations, especially for diehard Cardinal fans.
So yeah, I mean, I think that'll pretty much wrap up our Cardinal recap. I think overall, pretty good season, but we have high expectations, and we're looking to at least make the World Series next year.
Yeah, so if a player on the hot seat, kind of Marcell Ozuna, we don't know what we're going to do with him, but I think the guy on the biggest hot seat, John Mozeliak, he's got a lot of options that he can do. Some of the biggest free agents. I know we had Harper and Machado last season, but there are some Anthony Rendon, JD Martinez, and then Marcell Ozuna, throw him in the mix. There are a lot of studs. Garrett Cole, Madison Bumgarner, he could opt out. So
yeah, we'll do a separate episode about targets, but I think we'll move on to the Blues, who have dropped 4 straight. Are you nervous, Tom?
I mean, considering we were in dead last over halfway through the season last year, and you played 82 games, I'm perfectly content where we are. I'd rather not just be the President's Trophy contender, because I think if we just ran everybody over, you get a target on your back. So right now, I think we're at a perfect spot, cruising along. I would be shocked if we missed the playoffs or even came close to missing the playoffs. But right now, we did lose 4 in a row, but I wouldn't necessarily put that on our 5-on-5 play. I'd say I'd blame that on our 3-on-3 and power or shootout play, because we need to work on special teams. And
I thought that we had learned our lesson about closing games, and apparently we haven't, because we blew 2-goal lead 2 games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
That was just pathetic
against some average teams,
Canadians
to say the
and the
least.
Canucks. I mean, that is just but I mean, we got the Avalanche tomorrow, who are 7-0-1. They're absolutely killing it.
So when you guys are listening to this, we're going to be in a powerhouse like this. These are going to be the central contenders. Before the season I said Avalanche are my team that are finishing number 1. And we're going to finish number 2.
I had the Stars, who, thank God, are not doing too hot. 2-7-1. But I mean, Blues.
Yeah,
we're Stanley Cup champions.
Long season ahead, and the repeat is still intact. We got a long way to go.
So, I think our last talking point will be a little rumors coming from who else but Taylor Twellman.
Yeah, the heart of St. Louis, big, humongous soccer guy, but he did get I don't know where he got the source from, but he did hear that there were some middlings about the LA Chargers offering their franchise to the city of St. Louis. So I don't know how valid this is, but if it is valid, my hopes are, I'm intrigued.
I'll pull up the tweet. He was responding to Andrew Brand, which is a Chargers guy, and he said there was a strong rumor floating around in recent weeks that the NFL had offered the city of St. Louis the Chargers franchise. And this guy, Andrew Brand, was complaining about Chargers basically playing in a soccer stadium,
and they
being the tenants of the Rams, being literally just having Stan Kroenke own their franchise. Dean Spanos, once they had like the Carson Project, and then they had.
I believe Spanos is kind of like on the board of owning the Chargers, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if he's like trying to get pass him off, or he just wants to be in a better location than what he's at right now.
He's not in a good spot. Jim Hayes, we put this on our Instagram. You can't go anywhere in SCO without seeing at least one Natron Means jersey. Chargers roots run deep here. It's time to bring them home. So, I mean, do we want to mess with the NFL?
I mean, considering they have ripped our hearts out before, and they have just soiled our city and pissed on it, but at the same time, the LA Chargers, if they did come and make us a 4-sport... So a four-sport city, that would be fantastic. And the LA Chargers, I think if we got them within like the next few years, Phillip Rivers would retire, and then you get a new quarterback, and then
Two.
A whole new franchise in St.
Yeah.
Louis. I don't think a seat would go unfilled if they came here because
no doubt.
of how passionate we are about supporting our teams.
So, I mean, I'm not going to get my hopes up about this rumor because it's probably nothing, but figured we'd put it in there.
Yeah, but I mean, the MLS, we will be playing in 2022, and honestly, I've been kind of like, when you talk to people about the like 4 major sports, the MLS is starting to get talked about as like getting in that conversation as the Big 5. And if they do join with the Mexican League and boost that competition up even higher, I mean, the MLS could be a legit worldwide. I mean, not anytime soon.
It's got a long way to go.
Yeah, not anytime soon, but
I mean, our U.S. national team they just lost to
Canada for the first time in 34 years. So yeah, that was horrific. But yeah, if the MLS just keeps adding teams, and I think if they combine with the Mexican League and just build that competition up, they could be in the talks of the Big 5 American sports. So
all right.
A long ways to go, but yeah, it's looking hopeful.
All right. Well, I think that unless you have anything else, I think that's going to do it
No,
for today's
yeah,
episode.
Love the Cardinals coverage, the Blues, long season, Chargers. I mean, we'll follow the rumors, but like always, I mean, you can't get your hopes too high.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. So I think this was a great episode. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.